Hello, Jeff Foster, WebBiz Ideas. This tutorial is on using your competitors to find related websites. Now keep in mind this is part of a much larger tutorial on finding related websites to use in online public relations. So to start, there's multiple steps. I'll just get into the first one. Number one is using Open Site Explorer. So we've talked about this in many of our other tutorials, but in short, you type in your competitor's domain name in here, click a search, and then now it lists all the places that link to your competitor's website. So if you have 10 competitors, you just plug them all in here one by one, and now you have a list of all the places that link to them. So view our other tutorials. It's under Find Related Websites and using backlink tools to find out what you're looking for here, what you're not looking for, and then other tips on how to use this. But that's the first place that you should start when doing competitive analysis. Step 2 is using search operating terms to identify them, or searching your competitors' brands. So to search your competitor's brand online, it's a very simple search operating term. It's just putting quotes around your competitor's name or your competitor's brand, and then subtracting their website. Again, you can see other tutorials on learn how to search if you don't understand what search operating terms are. But in short, what you're going to be finding is every time your competitor's company is listed somewhere online, which can be a very powerful tool in finding related websites. Because if someone has listed your competitor, well, why won't they be able to list yours? Or at the same time, you might just find other local places or industry places that your competitor is active in, and perhaps you are not. And so then you can get listed in the same place and get links. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that these are web results. So you can do the same thing in a lot of different places, right? You can put your competitor's name and then subtract their website in Google, right? The normal web results, but you can also do this in Google News, in Google Blogs, in Google Discussion. So it's a very easy thing to do. Once you do the search on the left-hand side, just click on News. Nope, no results there. Blogs. Oh, yep, there's a lot of results there. And hey, we're organizing this by the past month just to make sure you have recent results. If you click anytime, there's 182 results, right? So now you can look through all those and find out if they relate. Same thing with discussion. Try to find out anytime that people are talking about your company. Find out what they're doing, and then you want to add all this stuff to your PR template. So going on, another way that you can use your competitors to find related websites is to search your industry leaders association and brands. So the same thing that we were doing for your competitors, you can do it for associations. So for example, you're a chiropractor, you can search the ACA Today to find other places that are mentioning that association. Again, you can do it in the web results. In this example, it's in the news and it's the past month. And so now you have different people that have talked about different things that relate to chiropractic care. And so you can reach out to the same people and try to get editorials. So just because you're in a small city and just because your competitors are small doesn't mean that your industry is small. And so use industry leaders to broaden the related websites that you find. And again, you can do this for just a normal search, but then you can use the search operating terms too, right? You can put quotes around the company name to find even more. And this works for any industry. Like if you're a home remodeler, check out HGTV and find other places that talk about HGTV. And again, just a side note, when you're looking at these places, you don't just want to add anyone. You want to add ones that are real people, right? This is written by a real person, Julie, right? That's good. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself, can I easily influence them? Can I be benefited by adding this to my PR template? And so what's great about this example is look at this. This Julie has linked to other companies that relate, to home remodeling or relate to interior design or products. So you might put that in your notes. Say, hey, Julie's willing to link to other people's websites. Maybe she can link to my website. So that's a fantastic tip that you can use. Now the next example is searching your competitor's top anchor text. So for this, I'm going to use an e-commerce example. Now keep in mind, this tutorial can be used in all these methods for local businesses, national businesses, e-commerce businesses. But this is a fantastic example for an e-commerce site. It's the competitor is the Tybar, and so what we mean by anchor text, right? The link itself, thetybar.com, that's an anchor text. An anchor text here, right? The link is the Tybar, that's an anchor text. So what we're doing is we want to search every time that this competitor has received that anchor text. Why? Well, hey, if we can find out every place just like this that they've got an editorial, well, that would be pretty nice to have a big list like that. And so what you can do is you can, one, just go to places that you find where they keep getting listed, or you can throw their domain name into Open Site Explorer and then click on the tab called Anchor Text. And then it lists in order of I guess the number of times being used, it's being used. So the Tybar, the Tybar.com. So you can just copy, for example, the Tybar there, which that was the link that was used here. And then you can go to Google and type in that same search operating term. Again, if you don't know what this is, see our other tutorials on Learn How to Search. And in Anchor, right? And now you put the Tybar, subtract their website, and now you got a bunch of places that have linked to a page using the Tybar.com. So what, in short, if you don't know what it is, just copy it, put in something else, right? Because you're going to find a lot of websites just like this. And so that's exactly what you're going to find. One, you find the website I was showing you. You find, hey, GQ magazine did a write-up about the Tybar, and they link to them. Fantastic. Maybe I can do the same thing. Now this works not just for e-commerce sites, this works for local businesses too. So for example, let's say you're in a very competitive industry in New York, you're a chiropractor again. Well, even if we just copied this first person here, let's say you don't know what most people link to their website using, throw it in Open Site Explorer, click on Anchor Text, and let's use the second one down, the Dr. Stevens. And so now we're going to put in Anchor the Dr. Stevens there, and then subtract their website. And now we have a bunch of places, again, that have linked to a page that use that anchor text, that keyword. And so you might say, hey, they're on CitySearch. Am I on CitySearch? Hey, they're on the Spine Health magazine. What is it? Can I get listed? Let me take a look. Let me search through it. If I like it, put in your PR template. And you go through all these places, and you're gonna say, hey, they're doing a lot of events. Am I doing a lot of events? If not, maybe I'm missing out on some link opportunities. So these are all examples too of not only finding related websites, but finding ideas. Because sometimes you just need ideas to do, because maybe your company's not doing everything your other competitors are doing. Again, this works in any industry. The real estate, let's say this is the top one. You want to compare what they're doing. Again, copy their company name, put it in here in Anchor, and now you find other places, right? They're on Flickr. Am I on Flickr? Right? They're on this Boulder site. Am I on there? And so you can do this over and over and over again. Again, the whole point of this is also getting ideas. A lot of times you'll keep running into companies that are doing events. For example, this real estate agent, they're doing a bingo night. It has nothing to do with their company, but it's networking. It gets them on the site. It gets their name out there, right? So a lot of times when you're doing this, not only put the stuff in your PR template, but make some notes maybe if you're not doing this, that hey, I got to step up my game. My competitors are way ahead of me. I'm not going to rank number one if I'm not doing stuff. If I don't have events going on and seminars and blogging, right? If I'm not doing that and my competitors are, I'm not going to be able to hire anyone, even to get me ahead of them. I got to be actively doing stuff. So that's just another side tip there. Now, the next tip is exactly what I've been showing you, but again, now this is searching industry leaders' top anchor text. So again, the same thing as we're just doing, but instead of your competitors, again, you're putting these industry leaders in. So again, I'm just going to keep using the ACA Today as an example. So again, in Anchor, ACA Today. So keep in mind, remember, this doesn't need to be a keyword. It can be an actual website. All you're saying is, how do people link to this? A lot of people probably just put, acatoday.org, www.acatoday. And now you're going to find other websites that relate to that. And then you're going to go explore them and find out, What is this page? Can I influence this company? So while I'm here, I just want to give you another side tip. You don't want to just stop here. You don't want to just copy this URL, add it to your PR template, and say, hey, hopefully I can influence cleveland.edu in the future. That is not what you want to do. What you want to do is go to cleveland.edu and find out where that link came from, where that page came from. So for example, as you're exploring through this might take 5-10 minutes. And you say, hey, classifieds, maybe I can do something there. And then you start clicking around and you can see, hey, people's company name, address, and phone number are listed here, and all it is a job posting. Maybe I can get a job posting too, and since I'm a local business, I understand that a company's name, address, and phone number is very important. Maybe I can get benefited. Again, same website, you're searching around, they have seminar schedules. You click for more details on these seminars, maybe there's a sponsorship opportunity. Yep, exactly there, right? You click on this website, and now you go over here, and this is a list of all their sponsors. And look at this. Some of them are just listed, and some of them have links. That's $300 to be one of these people. And there's a link there. So you might want to check if that link's a do follow, not no follow, right? You check it in the source code. Looks pretty good here. It's a do follow. It's gonna follow link juice. You throw that page into Open Site Explorer. Hey, page authority of 32 from a domain authority of 64. That's pretty decent, right? Maybe I want to get listed here. It's not buying a link. It's donating. And again, maybe you can find other websites that you can follow our other tutorials and say, okay, I'm going to copy some of these keywords, donations, donors, and I'm going to start searching for that in Google with the word chiropractor and try to find other websites that relate to chiropractic care in some way that I can also donate and get a pretty quality link from. So that's not only doing competitive analysis, but that's going a step further. This is what's going to get you ahead of your competitors. Because all these tools I'm showing you are available to everyone, but you always need that competitive advantage if you're really going to get ahead. Going on, the next step, discover where the majority of your competitors' links come from. So the reason why we want to do this, again, is we want ideas. Just like if we're doing competitive research and we keep finding all our competitors doing events, right? Maybe we want to do events. Or if we keep finding all of our competitors having awards, maybe we want to, submit our stuff to award sites. And so that's what you can do using Open Site Explorer. So I'll use the example of the Tybar again because they do a lot of work and they're a great example. So as we're searching through all their links that the Tybar gets, maybe we start seeing a trend. For this trend, it's wedding. We keep seeing wedding all over the place. Why? They sell ties. Why are all these wedding websites linking to them? And so as you start looking at it and start going to these pages, you'll see that these are wedding photography sites, wedding planning sites, right? And you say, well, how do they get the link? Well, somehow, right, they sent them the tie, or they use the tie, and there it is, the Tybar, right? That's the suit and the tie from there. And you say, let's say you're selling ties. You think, well, how many wedding sites are there online? How many wedding photographers are there online? Thousands, right? And so that's what you want to do. Yeah, you want to be creative here, right? You don't want to just stop and say, okay, I'm going to get a link from this website. No, you say, I want to get a link from every wedding site that's out there. And so perhaps maybe you start copying words, fall wedding. What other websites relate to fall wedding that mention the Tybar? Hey, 4 other ones. Here's 4 other websites that the Tybar got a similar link. And so yeah, you keep on going, right? Not just fall weddings, but weddings, right? The Tybar. Now there's 9 more websites. Hey, I can do the same thing. And you keep going on with that, right? Now here's entitled wedding, the Tybar here. Now you're subtracting, right? Some keywords there. And now you find 67,000 results. Oh my goodness. Right? So now you have your work cut out for you. Maybe you want to show tools and do it the past, month to knock it down to 35. But now you can find places that are talking about the Tybar that relate to wedding in some way, shape, or form. So this is what you want to do for your company, right? You want to just run with stuff. Again, we ran with this. Don't just stop there, Find lists of wedding blogs. Find lists of wedding magazines, right? And the easiest way to do this is use Open Site Explorer, and you can also export the results. So if using OpenSite Explorer is being too cumbersome, export all the results into an Excel file, and then you can filter things, then you can search through things, and you can perhaps find trends that are going on. They keep mentioning the word fashion, wedding, perhaps articles, bio, profile, whatever it is. You can start finding trends in your competitors, and you can start finding where they're getting most of their backlinks, because you really want to focus on that. The next tip is to search any PDF documents your competitor has published. Well, why do we want to do that? Well, usually PDF documents have high quality content. So for example, again, the tie bar, we're searching for their company name, we're searching for file type, a search operating term, PDF, and now we find all these PDFs where, again, the tie bar was mentioned. And so we say, where is this? Well, it looks like Glamour.com did this in 2011. Maybe I can copy this, add it to my PR template, put some notes, and maybe I can reach out to Glamour. Right? Again, the same thing. You would just go down each one of these, and hey, what you're going to find are these all PDF. These are all places that they've gotten editorials. Maybe I can get an editorial at the same place. Again, use different search operating terms in title to narrow down your results. So that's a fantastic way to do it. Now, going on to the next step is still using the word PDF, but now we're going to search editorial calendars. So for this also, it works better. Yes, your competitors, but again, usually large associations or industry leaders. And the reason why is because now we're searching the words like editorial calendar. Right? We're trying to find media kits or editorial calendars for large media outlets or large sites that are mentioning perhaps large industry leaders. And although we're not a large industry leaders, what we're interested in is related websites, related blogs, related media outlets. And this is a fantastic way to do it. Is what are websites mentioning, who are mentioning these industry leaders? Because if they mention them, that means they relate to you. And if they relate to you, there's always a chance, if you have some fantastic content, if you are promoting something that's amazing, that they can pick that same stuff up. Or maybe you can just, get involved in a conversation that they're having. Maybe this website, blogs about all these topics that you do, and you can just at least get involved in the conversation. Maybe there's a forum there. Maybe there's a social network. Maybe you can build a profile. Right? Who knows until you click on this stuff, and perhaps maybe you start going to this website, you start reading this information, and who knows where this can take you. It's 152 results that have mentioned an editorial calendar, right? That means that they're planning, right, in some way, shape, or form to do something big, and they're going to be mentioning one of your industry leaders. So again, a fantastic way to find related websites using your competitors doing that. Again, going along with this idea of some sort of event, instead of an editorial calendar, how about searching webinars? So in our industry, in the SEO industry, there's a fantastic company called Vertical Measures, and they put on a lot of SEO webinars. And so here we're searching for their company name, we're searching for the word SEO webinars, we could search for also SEO webinar, and then we're subtracting their website. There's 2,600 results. So 2,600 pages have mentioned the webinars that basically Vertical Measures do. So let's say we don't do any webinars though. So you could stop there, or you could add this stuff to your PR template, all the places that mentioned Vertical Measures SEO webinars, and you can then sit back and say, how do I get links? What's the best way to do it? Well, perhaps I could get 2,600 links, or let's say a lot of them are duplicate. Let's say I could just get a few hundred links if I produce a webinar. And I can reach out to the same websites and say, hey, I have a webinar very similar to them. Can you talk about me? So don't just stop and say, I don't do that, because that's why you're not ranking number one. You have to say, this is why my competitors are ranking number one. And so this is something that you should do. And when you find things like this that have a lot of results, run with it. Again, don't just stop with this company. Other people put out webinars. Start searching the hundreds of other people that put on the same thing. And also, you don't have to just search the word webinars, right? You can search anything, right? Webinar, seminar. You can use events, right? SEO Moz is an industry leader for us, so we're looking for in the title SEO Moz, and in the title an event. and then subtracting their website, and now we got 765 websites that are mentioned some sort of event that SEO Moz is putting on. So again, that's just 765 places that perhaps could talk about us if we're doing an event. It can be small, it can be big. Either way, now we're finding 765 related websites that we could influence in some way, shape, or form. So remember, if your job is to find related websites, it's not your job to say, I don't do that, or my company doesn't do that. No, it's to find these things and then say to your company, hey, this is what we should do. This is a huge opportunity. How much does it cost to put on an event? How much does it cost to put on a webinar? Not that much. Maybe we can do that. So here's just another search operating term you can do that with, right? You can put in title a company that does an event, put the word event, and then subtract their website. So it's a very easy search operating term that you could use. Going on, my last tips all relate to basically not websites or your competitors' websites, but your competitors' business owners, CEOs, or basically people that work for the company that are influential. So the first one is searching where your competitors' owners or influential people within your industry are guest posting at. Now we have other tutorials on how to find guest bloggers and posts, but again, this deals specifically with your competitors. So again, a great company again that does internet marketing in Minneapolis, other than us, is a company that Lee Odin owns, and he writes a lot for the company. And so now we're looking for places that he's a guest author. And again, there's hundreds of different things. I mean, guest author, guest post, guest blog, whatever you want to put in there. But now we're finding places that Lee Odin is doing this. And maybe we're going to, put it for the last month. There's 38 places that he's done this at. Or 38 places at least that mention guest author. So we might explore where those are. And we might say, well, if he guest posted there, maybe I can guest post. If I don't have anything to write about, well, that's a problem you have to fix. But either way, if your job is to find related websites, that's what your job is, to find these related websites, build a database, and then basically report back and say, this is what we can do, here are the opportunities. Going on, again, there's many different things that you can type in. Again, you could just simply type in Lee Odin and then in title guest. You can find the same thing. Again, places that he's guest authored, posted, whatever that word might be. But the next tip here deals with the same thing, and that's searching where your competitors' owners or influential people in your industries have profiles at. So again, using Lee Odin, it's now Lee Odin and in title profile. There's 20,000 places he has a profile at. Usually when people have profiles, they have other stuff going on there, right? They don't just have a profile. Perhaps they have a profile for a reason. Maybe they write for that company. Maybe they've been written about multiple times, right? Here's his contributions. He's contributed 43 different times, 83 followers, right? Maybe I can do the same thing. So that's what your job is. Put those all in the notes, Put this as in the example in your PR template. Hey, he's contributed a lot. Hey, this is the example of the page that I found it at. This is the company. This is how the link that you can go to sign up to be the same thing, right? Members, join here. All that information you want to collect if your job is to find these related websites. Again, going on, the next one is also about places that industry leaders or your competitors have lists. So again, Lee Odin, again, he's huge, not just in Minnesota, but everywhere in the SEO industry. He speaks at events, right? He's been around for a long time, and he's in a lot of lists. His blog's in a lot of lists. The places that influential people within the industry. So here again, if you find influential people, search for this one, their name, in title, and list. And now you got 7,000 places that probably have mentioned Lee in some sort of list, right? Top 100 blogs, top 100 internet marketing blogs, top 100 speakers, right? Lists like that Lee Odin has done. And again, the whole idea is develop your own database of websites like that, perhaps even develop your own lists or try to get in those lists. There's multiple ways you can do it. We have other tutorials on how to develop this content and reach out to these people. But again, if you're developing this, your job is just to find the lists and keep it organized. Now, the last one deals with the same thing, and that's interviews. Right? Search where your competitors or influential people in your industry have been interviewed. This is a very easy one. Not only can you find places that interviewed your competitors, perhaps companies' owners, and you can reach out to them and try to form a relationship, and maybe they want to interview you, but it also, you can reverse it, right? You can reach out to the places that they've interviewed, perhaps interview the same people. It's fantastic for finding ideas. And right, and when you're doing interviews, all it says is, hey, I'm an industry leader. I'm associated with these people. It doesn't even matter if you're doing the interviewing. If I was interviewing Lee Odin, I'd be associated with him in some way, shape, or form. And that would be good for our company's reputation. So, again, finding places that have done interviews and starting to record all this in an organized fashion can really pay off when you want to interview people, or perhaps it's vice versa. At least now you know who to influence, or who to get in contact with, who to form relationships socially, and maybe they might ask you. Right? Maybe you can form a plan to make that happen. And so keep in mind, all these last ones relate to not only your competitors, but influential people, right? So it doesn't just mean your competitors, but if you keep having influential people, you see them all over the place that are writing places, well, search for them too. Doesn't need to be your competitor. Influential people within your industry is just as good. So that's this tutorial. Again, it was all about finding related websites